In this Into the Outdoors at Home edition,
Now that we've seen PFDs being tested in a lab, we wanted to see what they can mean in real-life boating accidents. We're here with Hunter Bland, and as you'll see shortly, he has quite the story to tell. Hi Hunter, thanks for talking to us today.
Thanks so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to share my story.
So when did this accident happen?
So on January 14th, 2017, I had just launched for a bass fishing tournament on Lake Seminole out of Bainbridge, Georgia. We went through boat check, which is where they check our engine cutoff device. They check that our life jackets are on and fully fastened. We had passed boat check completely fine. We idled out to the river where we got on plane in our boat on the Flint River, and I was about 2 miles down the river. I go to cross a boat wake, and my hydraulic steering comes apart after I cross that wake. Me and my partner Connor were violently ejected when the boat does a 360, and we were both pitched out of the side of the boat.
That's really scary, and it's hard to watch too.
When I was ejected from the boat, I was actually trapped underneath the boat for, it felt like 45 minutes, but it was really probably only 4 to 5 seconds. And my partner Connor saw me kick out from underneath the boat, and he immediately swam over to me and pulled the cord on my life jacket.
So your PFD was able to keep you from drowning that day because of your friend?
My partner Connor's hydrostatic inflatable PFD immediately went off, and it actually rotated his head upright. So there wasn't any unwanted water immersion, and he was actually up and aware. So when my manual obviously did not inflate, the minute I came out from underneath the boat, his head was up, he was aware of what was going on, and he immediately saw me when I came out from underneath the boat, and he was able to swim over to me and pull the cord on my life jacket so my life jacket inflated. So what I actually learned from that is that a manual PFD, there's applications for it, which may be paddling on a kayak or something like that. But in a bass boat and a tournament fishing situation, a manual PFD for me in that accident was not the best choice at all.
Hunter, if you don't mind me asking, what could you have possibly done differently that day to prevent the accident from happening in the first place?
There's nothing that I really could have done differently because I did everything correctly in terms of safe boating. A lot of people think that I actually wrecked from crossing over the boat wake, but actually when you slow that video down, what actually happens is I'm completely across that boat wake and my hydraulic steering comes apart at that time. From what we know, we lost a nut on the right side of that hydraulic steering, and we do a violent 360, which is where my partner Connor and I are completely ejected. I was wearing my engine cutoff device. I had my PFD on and fully fastened, and so did my partner. The only thing that I really would change is to make sure I was wearing either a foam PFD or a hydrostatic PFD like I have on here, because that could have truly changed the outcome if I would have been trapped underneath the boat.
Could you possibly let me, Phoebe, and other people know what to be prepared for in case we ever find ourselves in an accident like this?
Boat ejections are one of the biggest causes for fatalities on the water. A lot of times because people aren't utilizing an engine cutoff device, or they're not utilizing proper PFDs or a PFD at all. And so when they go overboard, they're drowning or they're being hit by a propeller strike, things like that. So an engine cutoff device and a PFD on board for all passengers on the boat. If anything was to happen, it greatly increases your chances of survival. So make sure that you're always prepared next time you hit the lake, whether you're kayaking, paddleboarding, or even in a tournament scenario like I was.
Thank you so much for coming out and talking with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Hunter.
Hunter had some great tips for staying safe out on the water, and clearly he knows what he's talking about. How about you? How do you plan on staying safe next time you're out on the water?